Welcome down here to Paarl Gimnasium, where it's this mutual and federal premier inter-schools clash between the host Paarl Gym and Paarl Roos Gymnasium. Well, the teams coming into today's clash, Paarl Roos, they'll look to their pack, been spearheaded by Michael Mayer at number 8, the captain, and look out for the juggernaut in Jacques van Zyl. He's a live wire hooker, as Gubani and Gary touched on. Herschel Yankees, the diminutive scrum off, but he'll keep that Paarl Gym pack busy the whole afternoon. Well, the host Paarl Gymnasium, Gavin van der Berg, the loosehead prop who represented Western Province in the Craven Week last year. He's a man to watch out for. And of course, they'll be skippered by Zandre de Kooka, a prominent number 9 who's in his second year of playing for Paarl Gym. And as we await the teams out onto the field, here come the Maroon Machine, led by Michael Mayer. He has a massive clash in front of him, as Paarl Roos last won this game at Paarl Gym in 2006, when a certain Springbok scrum off, Francois Hooghart, was involved. But here comes Michael Mayer, as I welcome in commentary my fellow commentator for today, Gubani Bobo.
As we mentioned, it's good to be out here and Paarl Gym. This is the Clankreel A field of Paarl Gym when we see Paarl Roos running on. Mentioned on top of the program, player like Herschel Janchis, the scrum half, he's been instrumental. We saw him at the Volta Claver Schools Week, where he marshaled his team and marshaled them not justly from the scrum half, scoring a brilliant try on the wing. So there's a lot of experience from their side, but this is where it's all about. It's all about the home team. Captain there and running on. It is Zandre de Kooka, the scrum half from Paarl Gymnasium. It's good to see this. I know, Garrett, we've had a chance and the privilege to play on this field, playing up against Paarl Gym. What can we expect from these both teams? What is the conditions? What it feels to be in this atmosphere?
Well, of course, Paarl Gym, they'll look to make you soft up front before earning the right to go wide, where Paarl Roos, they're a little bit more expansive in their outlook of their rugby. And of course, this field does slant from left to right, so in the advantage of Paarl Gym as they start their war cry before proceedings begin.
Proceedings have started, protocols have been observed, tradition has been kept. It's all about protecting what is important to you, which is your school tradition, your school pride. Just about to kick off here is Reynard Fortuin, the fly half of Paarl Roos. They're playing from right to left, and our referee Francois Pretorius. Going high, ball not received, but a knock on. You see it from that kickoff.
Early elementary mistake by Paarl Gym has given the ascendancy from the restart to Paarl Roos, a great attacking position. So look out for the left wing, Edward van der Merwe. He's been mightily impressive for the Maroon Machine this season. Big scrum first up. Both sides will be looking to crouch, get the ascendancy early on.
It's Herschel Janchis with the ball. Western Province Schools Craven Week last season. It's all about the safety at this level of rugby, schools rugby.
And of course, Popes, you touched on in the week, Jaco Willemse, he picked up a medial ligament injury, making him unavailable for today's clash. And that's a huge loss for Paarl Gym in their pack.
Difficult position to defend as you don't have the scrum off on the open side, so you tend to feel that your fly is exposed. Janchis carrying on the ball, it's a man fenter right in the middle. Slow ball for Paarl Roos. Carry strong from Dean van Tonder. Changing direction. It's like, man, beg your pardon, Dean van Tonder carries it now for Paarl Roos getting to the 22. Flat ball, Fenter. the inside centre, Paarl Gimnasium. Janchi's covering up, helping him to clean up. That's Edward van der Merwe. Looking to carry up with the forwards. Emil Kluter makes a few yards and is starting to rumble up inside the 22 now, Paarl Gimnasium. The eighth man, the captain, Michael Meyer. Into contact, pick and go, ball went forward. What does the referee say? Place on Paarl. Call from the assistant referee from the side there. But positive start from Paarl Gimnasium.
Great patience shown by the men from Stellenbosch, taking it through the phases, somewhat zigzag. But then it was a break by Michael Meyer, the hard-working captain. He got rid of the attentions of the inside centre, Willie Small. But unfortunately, Jacques van Zyl just knocking it on. And a late change coming in for Paarl Gim. George Lawrence has replaced Paul Himan, who's hobbled off with an injury.
Scrum inside the 22. We want to see the exit play now from Paarl Gim. Strong, but then referee still keeps the same. Yeah, George Lawrence is the man who's replaced Paul Himan, coming in from the injury. You know, it took a while for him to get the clearance to come in. This opportunity that you're looking for as a junior, as a man who's playing at the first team level, playing for the second team side. You want to get yourself to play against the big schools. You want to play in the derby games.
And of course, a televised derby game will do his cause the world of good, will it? George Lawrence. Look for the eight man to pick up here and set the target before exiting.
Hands into the ball by the captain, De Koker, giving it up to his inside centre. Set up to the back. Clearance is good. Finds the safety of the touchline, just in between the 10-metre line and the halfway line. Still inside the half. Paarl Gim will be happy with that exit play.
Good efficient work by Walter Smit. He got his feet into a good position. A sizable clearance up that grandstand touchline. However, opportunity for Paarl Gimnasium to launch an attack.
That goes over the top, but well reacted in the reactions from Jerome Croft. Counter ruck is good from Paarl Gim. Starting to put their hands now. Turnover ball. Smit. Ball above his head. Who wants the ball? No one is claiming to it. Francois Pistorius just calls it up for a knock-on. Turnover ball. Thought that was used efficiently.
Good work at the breakdown counter ruck coming in from Paarl Gim, sending their big men in particular Dieter Lacher. The two-pass rule coming in. That's applied by Paarl Gim, but then unfortunately the pass not going to hand and turnover yet again.
5 minutes gone in this first half between Paarl Gim and Paarl Gimnasium. Paarl Gimnasium in the maroon and Paarl Gim in the striped maroon and gold with a bit of green. Bit of a tight hit. Both scrum halves competing for the ball. Both not happy, feeling that the ball went out from the entrance of the scrum.
Well, you'll notice for Paarl Gimnasium, they've got a massive inside centre in Edric Venter. They need to utilise him to either set a target or he needs to be a block runner. Free up those exciting outside backs in Aiden Cupido, Nico Leonard, and of course Edward van der Merwe.
I was very impressed by Edric Venter when we saw him at Valdeklave. He's not just the big man who just wants to do the bullocking runs. He's got good distribution skills and he's got a great kicking game with him. Short arm penalty for pushing before the ball to Paarl Gimnasium. Tap and go from Janchis. Looks for his captain, but he lets it go. Now Venter in the midfield, trying to maintain possession. Paarl Gimnasium. Janchis there quickly. Step on the inside. It's from Cupido. But the turnover again. Massive contest on the breakdown from both sides. And still trying to settle down these two players, these two teams.
Absolutely. The nerves are out of the opening exchanges. And then Cupido just losing the ball in contact. Xander de Kruger shot down the blind side, but it was his knock-on. That is yet again, in as many minutes, afforded Paarl Roos the opportunity to launch an attack.
Just want to see the reaction now from Paarl Gim. Just had a scrum across the field where they gave away a free kick for pushing in any. It's all about protecting what is important to you. Playing to the safety. Good strike, but the ball is back to Paarl Roos. Fenter, Cupido going with an up and under. Underneath it is George Lawrence. Will he make the catch? The ball just comes off. Playing on. Well read. De Koker, the captain. Tackle from Fontaine. Changing direction to the blind side. Now it's the outside center. That's tight. Score. Cupido stepping. Placing the ball back. Securing position. Needs a bit of patience. Composure from Paarl Roos. Chances takes it upon himself to go for the clearance. Man at the back. Really small. Looks for a territory position to kick the ball behind the winger, Nico Leonard. It's a great kick, especially putting the pressure back to Paarl Roos. Really small.
In the first line out of this afternoon's clash, look to hit the banker ball in Emil Kluki or the number 4 lock Louis Conradi.
Turnover from the line out, and it's a breakaway for Paarl Gim, just 10 meters away. The pick and goes from the forwards, keeping the ball a bit close, starting to build the phases. Big run coming from Giovanni van den Berg, the vice captain. Going from the switch run is small. Keeping it close is Paarl Gim inside the 22 of patience. Lace getting inside, outside. Does he step up his man? Lawrence supporting the fullback. Being taken out, but courageous defense coming in from Paarl Roos.
Some good interplay by the home side, Paarl Gim, with a catch-up defender working really hard for the men from Stellenbosch. Laviljo's been bundled into touch. But the offload coming in, George Lawrence, well, he's had a rude introduction to first team rugby.
The referee wasn't happy with the throwing in. The line out, he felt that it was already formed. Janchi's now looking for the safety of the touchline. He goes for the safety first in the rule.
Well, as you say, that the rain begins to bucket down here. And of course now that's going to tighten this contest up. Whichever pack of forwards stands up today is going to win this game ultimately.
Going for a short man line out, Paarl Gim. Trying to set up his 8th man to Koker. Communication being the problem. Advantage to Paarl Roos. 10 minutes gone in the first half. Offsides position. Intentionally, unintentionally. Astetia Lichter. Chances going for the touch. You can hear the Paarl Roos pupils out there trying to encourage their away side.
Well, Herschel Yankees, he's a catalyst in this Paarl Roos side.
Chances. Venter. Taking it up in the middle is Matt Gallo. On his outside, it's a flaw, bit of ricochet to the hands of Van der Merwe. Both teams chancing their armor, playing with the advantage.
Well, somewhat fortuitous bounce there for Edward Van der Merwe, and it just overran there did Aidan Cupido. But great anticipation by the left winger, looking for work, coming off his wing.
You talk about great anticipation and the work rate. It's always good for the blindside winger to play towards the ball if it's going onto the open side. And that's what Van der Merwe done very well. But ball being moved to the right-hand side, he supported.
We just heard the ref saying he wants the packs nearer together. He wants him to be steady ear to ear before they engage in the scrum.
It's a good call, especially with the way that strong sides here. Takaka with the ball. The captain. Could imagine quite a massive rivalry between the two players. Two scrum halves, Sesho Janchis and Zandre Takaka, vying for that Western Province Schools Cravenwood side.
Coach!
And of course, Herschel Yankees, he holds the upper hand, having played there last year. But the Quokka, don't count him out. He's a very busy number 9.
Binding, 1. Moet je bent langer in hoor kry, jy vat hom af.
Binding from Gavin van der Berg, not happy was Francois Pretorius. And the option is to go for poles for Paarl Roos. 12 minutes gone, still 0-0. Chance and opportunity now.
Gavin van der Berg being penalised. The loose head of Paarl Gim, just losing his bind. And of course, right in front of the referee. That's handed Reynard Fortuin an early opportunity now to get points for Paarl Roos. And to be fair, 80% of this game has been played in the Paarl Gym, half of the field. It'll be just reward if he can knock this over. I was having a watch of him on Thursday. He's got a very uncomplicated technique. And he normally swings it in from left to right.
Fontaine raises the flags, 3 points. As Gareth White mentioned it, normally swinging from left to right. Yes, by the call, over the black dot. Paarl Roos away from home, they're 3 points up with 13 minutes gone on this first half. Smith overcooking that kick-off and starting to pile on the pressure to the home side. Just conceded points and now they don't retain possession.
Absolutely criminal error from Paarl Gim. They've just conceded the 3, as you mentioned. He's now kicked it directly into touch. He's opened the field up for an attacking play from the visitors for both sides. Of course, Christoph Lotte, he won't be happy with that. Well, there you see the first half territory, 64% in favour of the visitors, Paarl Roos.
Christoph Lotte, the coach from Paarl Gim, mentioning the influence of the injuries in his side, losing off his experienced players. But the scrums have been good for Paarl Gim. The striking is good for the hooker, Marco Mostert.
Two massive units up against one another. Gavin van der Berg against Jerome Koff. It's a battle royale on that far side in front of the referee.
Isn't that good to see that scrums have become such a contest, striking the ball as a hooker, and Marco Mostert has got the skill.
Of course, I've overloaded that far left-hand side to nullify that 8-9, 15, 14 play. But again, it's the second penalty that Van der Berg has accrued.
Hy support nie sy eie body weight deur te ver vorentoe te lê. En hy kry nie sy bind hoog genoeg nie, dan trek hom af. Kan jy beter doen as dit?
Ja, meneer, kyk vra.
Dankie, yes.
Hy lê baie voor. Dis kom ek kan onder hom inkom en hy lê baie voor.
Dis nou ek het sien nie, asseblief kry jou bind uit in jou body weight.
He's got to get his bind right, and he's got to support his own body weight. That was the message coming in from the referee.
Yeah, it's part of the safety issue and safety element. Guess what normally other refs will term it is hinging on the bind and having his shoulders below his hip. Lining it up from the halfway line now. Reynard Fontaine with the second kick. 51 meters. How would you go about this, Gareth? This is a straight on kick. Would you still drag it around?
Yeah, there's not much wind to speak of here. He's just got to get a good strike in, and his placement foot being the right foot needs to be solid. Somehow, I think he might lack in a bit of distance for Fortuin.
True to the word again, Gareth White. You can see why the kicking coach with the high performance. Missing that one was Reinhard Fontaine. But the pressure still within Paarl Gym. They're still inside their half territory, not favouring them. They go long. And then underneath there is Michael Mayer, the captain, 8th man, carrying strongly over to the halfway line. Forwards to be happy with that. Good returns. Fontaine. Missed pass, but he goes behind everyone. Cupido reacts burst from Paul Roos. Janchis has a little dab and a little kick through. Still keeping it on. Pressure onto George Lawrence. Janchis went over him. Tackle. More, as the referee calls it, Paarl Gym be the ones who could concede possession. It's down to Iraq now. Zandre de Kaka looking for the captain. Paarl Gym pick and go is from Liche. Trying to maintain the pick and go, turnover ball. Lost in contact there by Paarl Gym. Turnover ball, dangerous position to lose the ball for Paarl Gym. Fontaine looking to step, looking to carry the ball. He's 5 meters away. Ball protection, key element. Janchis popping the pass to Mayer. Mayer with an offload. Gallo! First try of the game. 80 minutes gone. Great ball presentation. Great skill shown by the young pupils from Paarl Roos. And Matt Gallo gets the first try of this traditional team, traditional rivalries. Paarl Roos up against Paarl Gym.
Well, the turnover came in by the hard-working number 7 flanker, Dean van Tonder. Then Reinhard Fontaine decided to take Paarl Gym on. The ball, get it out the side. Herschel Yankees did also well. Got his pass away to the captain Mayer, who freed up Matt Gallo. And over he thundered for Paul Roos's first try of the afternoon.
So Reinhard Fontaine getting the first penalty kick. Missing the other one from long range now. From the left-hand side of the field, trying to go for the conversion. 19 minutes gone. Strike sounds all right, but he drifts it in front of the poles. Another missed kick from Fontaine. But 8 points to 0. Paarl Roos lead.
Great work again by Yankees. He's so busy. Got his pass away in the tackle, and then superb offload by the captain, Michael Mayer, for Matt Gallo to get in for his try.
Gone deep as Paarl Gym and carrying the ball out to Jacques Van Zyl. Janchis sitting back with the box kick, trying to go, charge down. Looking at it, is he going to get the ball? Oh, 22 missing out there, but he looks in grimace of pain. That was Dion Visser.
Herschel Yankees been charged on, and look at Dion Visser all over Eden Cupido like a rash, but it was the scrum off Herschel Yankees who saved the day from his initial mistake.
Cupido going long. Paarl Gym receiving the ball just inside the half. Looking for a bit of space is George Lawrence. And well charged, well measured. But the Paarl Roos fans right behind him, you can see they're not feeling it was in.
I'm not happy about that. The Paarl Roos scholars happened right in front of them, but good work by Lawrence.
Let's open up again. It's Timmy. You can't see it on the screen, but it's been a rank shot that Reinhard called by Paarl Roos. Going high, going over the top. Paarl Gym now on the attack, giving to their tight head, carrying strong as Adrian Holdeners. Held up by Dean van Tonder. Want to set up a maul, but he has to roll away now because it's on the floor. And the ball goes behind Kevin van der Berg. Picked up by Skoor. Blindside coming around the corner as Marco Mostert. Chasing again, Van der Berg into contact. Lost the ball, great tackle, great defense from Matt Gallo, the try scorer from Paarl Roos. Janchis shows and go. Trying to maintain possession. Just open up a bit. You can't see it on the screens because As you can see, the cameramen, the people are all covered up. The rain is starting to come down. It's a bit of a drizzle.
Well, what Paarl Gim aren't doing, they're not setting targets, they're not looking after the ball. Their kicking has been woeful. Herschel Yankees, well, he's just had the ball dislodged, and that was a second knock, being adjudicated by the ref. But getting back to Paarl Gim, they're just handing Paul Roos opportunity to bring wave after wave of attack. Of course, they just need to try set a few targets in this wet weather and get their forwards coming around the bend in the same direction.
We've seen they're strong on the scrum, the Paarl Gim, how much pressure they put inside the 22 Paul Roos. Judges from Michael Mayer giving it up to Edwin Fenter, just to make sure they give an option and opportunity for Fontaine on his left foot. Offside lines are judged by assistant referee.
Every time Paarl Gim have got into the Paul Roos 22 meter area, they've either conceded possession or they've given away a penalty. And there you see the penalties conceded, 4 already by the home side, which is not helping their cause, and that's illustrated on the scoreboard.
It's 23 minutes gone here. Paul Roos leading by 8 points to 0 as Janchis finds the safety of the touchline off the penalty. Is well measured, is well controlled and composed, Janchis. Vital player for this Paul Roos team to set up a short man, 5-man line-out drive. Fontaine. Fenter mentioned him about his kicking skills. Back straight into George Lawrence, who looks for territory too. Fenter covering up for that kick. He's got enough time, sets himself out, right-footed kicker. Not out. Ball kept onto and filled by Close. Paarl score. Gets in just over the 10-meter line. Straight from Visser. A loose forward behind Van der Berg. Stretching the play now with McDonald. Short and goal from Zandre Takaka. Ball presentation. Big loose head, losing the ball in contact again. How much is the condition has to do with that, Gareth?
Well, Gavin Van der Berg's presentation and his working contact really poor. It's the second time in the last 5 minutes that he's had the ball dislodged or knocked it on. And again, another turnover in the Paarl Roos red zone.
Yeah, those handling errors, they do show what kind of weather we do have. 11 handling errors between the both sides, 7 from Paarl Gim, and Van der Berg has contributed with 2 of those.
I'll look for Eric Fenter to set the target before they try exit.
Janchis.
Well, he's going to have a serious chat here, because that's now another penalty at scrum time against Gavin Van der Berg. It's the 5th one, in fact. Of course, don't be surprised if he goes to his pocket if this carries on.
Yeah, from those short arm penalties then, because it's consistent.
He's been adjudicated to coming in on the angle is Van der Berg.
You can see where his back is coming from. You can see the number 1 walking around his tight head, trying to put a pressure onto the scrum off. Not in straight. And this happens right where we're sitting at, Gareth. What do you feel about that?
Well, I thought it was a poor line-out call. They set up a pot in front of Jacques Van Zyl. They've got to manipulate. They've got to manipulate the work at the line-out, get those pods moving around. Of course, in wet weather, the banker balls are either at 2 or at 4.
The replacement man who came in the last minute, George Lawrence, has limped off, and coming on now is Keenan Abrams, the number 21, coming into fullback for Paarl Gim. The injury curse carries on for Paarl Gim. Especially that number 15.
Yeah, I think they must retire that number 15 jersey. They've lost 3 fullbacks or 2 fullbacks in the space of 4 or 5 hours before kickoff. And George Lawrence is right off.
Looking to put the pressure as Paarl Gimnasium. They get the scrum. And now it's the 3rd time he's had a chat to him. Let's listen to the ref.
Sy vierde penalty.
Ja.
As hy nou reg nie gaan ek hom forceer om verdere stappe te neem.
Okay.
Number 1.
Jerome Korf giving Gavin van der Berg a world of problems.
Oh, Jerome. Strong.
Here we see he's been adjudicated now to having taken the scrum down. Well, the pressure's coming in from Korf on that tight inside. Good work by Paarl Gimnasium.
4-man line out. Feinter carrying the ball strongly into the midfield. Keen as his loose forward trio. Trying to go for a wide pass to Capito. Aiden carrying the ball strongly. He's breaking tackles. Tackle fight good from Capito. Ball presentation, yes. Janches looking out for his captain, Michael Mayer. Clean out. Janches changes direction. Keeping with the big man. Korf. Janches. Knock on. Opportunity.
Just a plethora of injuries and, of course, mistakes, handling errors coming in between the two sides. Herschel Yankees just having a look up. The ball bobbled in his hands. And of course, it's a turnover. But what has impressed me is Paarl Gimnasium's work at the breakdown. They've managed to get over, secure the man who's carried it forward. And it's provided Yankees with a decent platform to work with.
More important there as a man that carries the ball into contact, bridging the advantage line. Let's see what Gavin van der Berg and Jerome Korf will bring for us in the scrum. It's been 6 penalties already from the scrums with free kicks and penalties. Only allowed to scrum for 1.5 meters. The tackle and the pick and go was the 8th man, HJ. It was MJ Hayes. Capito stepping, carrying the ball back into the 10-meter line, into the half of Paarl Gym. Fontaine straightening up the line, carried strong from the fly half. Feinter with the miss pass into Gallo, try scorer in the first half. Carries well the outside center. Janches, Mayer. Competing on the rock is Paarl Gym, but the ball is still safe, secure. Great hands from Fontaine. The block was even better from the 8th man of Paarl Gym. Janches tracking back. Keeners getting in. Hard-working loose forwards of Paarl Gym earned them the right to go up.
Great work in defence by Paarl Gym. And then Herschel Yankee's been adjudicated here for holding on to the ball. Good technique by Walter Smith at the breakdown. He had all the rights to the ball. He was on his feet. They've decided to find the sanctity of the line out.
And the sanctity is the 22-meter line inside the Paarl Gimnasium half. Setting up the full-man line out. Will they start to drive here to build it? Gone to the back, but it's a great hands. First infringement was the throw was not in straight.
Well,
Another opportunity gone.
Bobs, I've never understood that concept by the man who's calling the line out. He's gone for the tail ball in wet weather conditions because it is absolutely teeming down here at the moment. And of course, one or two things. He's either going to be beaten in the jump or it's going to end up being thrown scoop.
Trying to be a devil's advocate here, Gareth. What if he backs his hooker so much that he knows he can get the back ball? Anyway, it is an opportunity lost for Paarl Gym. Yes, sometimes option taking is key. Janches picked up by the 8th man. Feinter setting up the play again into the midfield. You can see this is a well-rehearsed exit play and options from Paarl Gimnasium, but they start to run. Fontaine backing up on Janches. Oh, it's really starting to affect the play now as the rain as it comes down.
Oh, initial break coming again from Herschel Yankees, the pillar shooting out of position. Gets a pass away, and he does it very well, does Yankees. To his pivot, Fortuin. But again, it's a placement in contact. It's just letting both sides down at the moment.
Yeah, I know it is kind of weird to guess that the skills will be tested. 32 minutes gone.
Winter has arrived here in the Ferris Cape.
Oh, it's beautiful to be out here. Spirits are still high, not dampened by the rain. Janchi's putting pressure on Zandrik Dukaka. Does well, the scrum off, turning the ball back to his side. Can see the appreciation from his scholars. It's a great contest between these two scrum offs.
Absolutely, but this is where Paarl Gimnasium have to be tactically astute. They need to play field position here. They need to put the ball in behind this Paarl Gym back three. Use the space on offer, especially with two left-footed kickers moving from right to left on the field in Cupido and Fortuin. And coupled with the fact that they've got a scrum off who's playing fullback here in Keenan Abrams, they'll need to be wise about the certain options that they employ in the next 40 or so minutes.
Kicking game, kicking option. Ball is becoming slippery as cake soap. Oh, as I mentioned it, from a hanging error to another.
Well, you can attribute the handling errors to the rain that is pelting down here. Just again, the pass in the bread basket of Dion Visser. Unfortunately for the open side flanker from Paarl Gym, he knocked it on, and there you see it's absolutely bucketing down here in Paarl. You saw Coach Hein Crick of Paul Roos under the umbrella.
Conditions on the field, it's rained, but the pitch is held up very well here at Jan Kriel, A field of Paarl Gym. Looking to put away his winger, but it's not a charge down, the referee felt. See that man stretching out his leg there, Grant Williams.
Just touching on Grant Williams. He's been part of the SA Under 18 high performance sevens setup. But here we see Yankees again trying to put the ball into space with Leonard. It's the wrong tactic for me. Use the conditions to your worth and play field position. And I'm sure that'll be the message from Hein Crick and Darby Snowman at halftime.
Spirits are still high. There's a lot of students out here, and the pupils are enjoying it. It's a heritage, it's tradition. It's all about protecting what is important to you, your pride. 34 minutes gone. Peter Gallo looks around, looks to take on the man. What a great hit coming in from Roos. Trying to keep the ball in play. Man going out. It's 8 points to 0. Paarl Roos lead Paarl Gym. Away from home is Paarl Roos. Weather has been challenging for the both sides. Paarl Roos with the try. Don't go anywhere. Paarl Roos leading Paarl Gym by 8 points to 0. Second half looked to be more promising. It's about protecting your pride, your heritage, and your history. See you after this.